when in a higher vibration state, to integrate it into the new baseline, your aim must be to not choose actions that fuck it up. The mind is not oriented toward recognizing the weight of the positive, the high vibration experience. It's aimed toward recognizing the weight of negative experiences. So I was just picking blackberries and eating them. And there's a certain amount of blackberries I eat where I don't feel good. Brings my vibe down. This applies to any food. It's not just like fresh berries. It applies to other more dense foods as well. There's a point where you should stop eating. And it's way before you think it is. And you will get a signal. So I got a signal. I was reaching for one more and I got a signal to stop. And my mind's like, oh, but blackberry season is going to be over soon. And these are some really good ones. And I almost did it. Then I just pulled myself away, walked away. So, and I could feel that triumph. So in a high vibration experience versus a normal dense baseline experience, we're not going after dopamine hits to increase our experience. The ego world, the ego reality, enhances its experience through dopamine hits. I'll say it again. In the ego reality, positive experience is associated with dopamine hits and sometimes serotonin, but those are more long lasting. You don't have serotonin peaks typically. Serotonin's well-being, which is more relevant in the soul reality. Dopamine is more relevant in the ego reality. So our compass is based on dopamine seeking actions. In the soul reality, which I'm speaking to, we lose that compass entirely. We don't have that concrete compass of dopamine hits, which is unfortunate because we've lived our whole lives with that compass. And so it's not inherently challenging to live in the soul reality and not slip out of it, though that's what generally happens over and over and over and over again when we have these peak experiences into the soul reality. Because we're getting used to a different language. Once we get it, we get it. But we're getting used to a different language. We're learning to neglect the dopamine signals, such as to reach for that last bunch of blackberries, because my mind was in scarcity. Scarcity, ego, dopamine. You'll see trends of these related experiences, related energy realities, scarcity, dopamine, ego, story. Excitement, motivation. The soul reality is more about restfulness, relaxation, peace, serotonin, deep meaningfulness. For some people, joy. I don't experience joy generally, at least currently in my life. It's more about peace. I think different personality types are more prone to experiencing that than others, or maybe it's a stage in the journey I'm not experiencing. So I would have fucked my vibration up if I ate those blackberries, because it was a self-betrayal. It was I would resent myself. I couldn't trust myself if I did that. And that was a very benign one too. Like there's others. People pleasing. People pleasing is, yes, I hate myself and I am going to communicate that to others, whoever I'm people pleasing for, and the world and myself. I hate myself so solidly that I'm going to announce it to the world with an action. I'm going to lock it into reality by exchanging the action with another human being, another soul. I'm going to write that contract over and over again. I already wrote the contract. Now I'm gonna use ink and rewrite it right over my signature again and again and again every time I people please and again. Because I want that reality of I'm not worthy. I don't deserve existence. That's what we're doing when we do this, when we people please. Imagine the amount of distrust and resentment that must breed from that. The unfortunate truth is you've done so much worse than that so many times. Think of when you were less conscious. You don't even have a record of how many times you did it because that was just your life. That was so normal. You didn't even realize you were people pleasing, for example. There's many other examples of this. Every time you sat at a desk in school and believed the idea that you should be doing that you should care about homework, that you should listen to the teacher, that you are bad for acting out, for speaking out, you're locking in that reality of despising yourself and that you're worthy of self-betrayal because you're bad. So, of course, you should betray yourself because you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. So, it's actually incredible when I see this. I find it incredible that it's even possible to get out of this at all. It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing that's even possible to get out of this. I'm 31. 28 years, let's say, 27 years of this. It's a blessing, like thousands of days of school. I got in trouble all the time from talking, from trying to make people laugh. It's a blessing to be able to get out of this. A testament to the power of the truth, because the truth is the truth, and none of this stuff stands a chance. It's just a matter of time. We're all ripening fruit on the tree. We're all unfolding flowers in our season. So you can't really do that many actions to help you in the soul reality, but you can do a lot of actions to fuck it up. And so your game is to not fuck it up, because you are the soul. And so it's not required to do a bunch of things. There are no equivalents of dopamine hits in the soul reality. There's just only fucking it up. To the ego, fucking things up is being truthful, being selfless. This is fucking up the ego game and its experience of suffering and trigger. That doesn't mean to say that you should always tell the truth or that you should always be selfless. That's ridiculous. If we're in the ego game, those are extremely destabilizing and like damaging potentially in a certain sense. Unless you want to go in hard mode, unless you want to really just fucking burn yourself in the fire, which I doubt anyone listening to this, including myself, is actually like down for that. That's a extremely rare path, and so it's probably not the move. It's probably gonna be harmful because you're not gonna go all the way, and you should have just never done it. You know, that's why we shouldn't listen to spiritual teachings and try to copy them. Spiritual teachings like be selfless. That's why the Bible like fucks everything up. That's why religion fucks everything up. For one of the reasons is like it's not there's different truths depending on the level of consciousness a person's at, level of development a person's at. Like whoever's watching this video, the kind of guidance that's going to serve you is not the kind of guidance that's probably going to serve your parents if your parents are alive or if they were alive. Like they were probably less conscious than you. They were probably denser than you. They were probably at a different stage of their ego development than you. They were less mature. They need different lessons and different languaging at that point. the kind of lessons that serve you would be harmful for them. It's irresponsible to impose our truth on other people in the belief that it's the truth, because it's just not. There's different levels to the human being. We have to know which level we're talking to if we have any hope of serving them or coaching them or anything. So I said that there's no way to kind of enhance the soul reality. That's not completely true. There are ways to align with life more, such as eating foods that flow through you better, that facilitate energy flow in your body. I ate a bunch of like the organic version of Nutella last night, and I can recognize the impact that had. I had been eating like really good vegetables and whatnot previously in the day. So foods like that, like I could feel it. Also, like you can just look at the jar. It's like it's got cacao, coconut sugar, cashew butter. Like, first of all, that stuff didn't exist in nature, so like there's a good chance it's not like meant to be in a thriving organism. Also, it's got sugar in it. And you can tell just from the texture, it's like goopy. Like, do I want that? That's sticky. And it's going to stick to my insides. It's going to get stuck energy. It's like foods that flow through you are good. And seeing the sun in the morning, breathing through the nose and through the diaphragm, these things lock the soul into the body. They're not going to like enhance the soul reality, but they will, because they're just part of an aligned human being. That's why I say they don't enhance the soul reality. The breath is the soul, is the spirit, is, yeah. So there's some mainstays, like some foundational alignment principles: breath, food, sun, stretching the body, abstaining from sugar, refined sugar, not speaking untruths, not wasting your energy through word or action. These things facilitate the soul locking into the body, and there are things that fuck it up very quickly, like going against yourself even once, even in a little way, like the blackberry example. That's all for today. Wishing you all well. Trusting you all will be well.